So some of you did not get complete notes filled out, so I want to make the videos available for those of you who are studying for your quiz tomorrow and maybe are missing some of these notes. All we did here was add some words that mean addition. Of course, all of these words up here we talked about, and I'm pretty sure I talked about them in every class, but just in case we didn't, I can give you some real quick examples, because that's all they wanted you to do is list the examples. Variables get their name because they could vary. We talked about, for example, N or X, and that's just what it is. It's a letter. And the letter will represent not a letter. You don't look at that as a letter, you look at it as a missing number. An algebraic expression has to have at least one variable in it, otherwise it's not algebraic, and one numerical operation. So you have to have a letter, could be X. You have to have add, subtract, multiply, or divide. So we'll do add, and then it could be anything else. You could add a constant to be a 3. You could have had 2x minus another variable, y. Lots of different things, but those are, and of course, each one of these right here has two terms. This one also has two terms. The terms down here, it's where you have a number, a variable, or the number and the variable multiplied together. Here we have a number, here we have a variable, here we have a number times a variable, then we have another variable. But you could also have three terms, a number and a variable multiplied together, the operation divided by just a variable, and then you could have something else, let's say times just a number. Okay, so that would be considered, it's probably written like this, it's still considered, that's actually considered one term. You need a plus or a minus sign to have a second term. And then minus z. There we have three terms. The pluses and the minus signs are what determine terms. So this is all one term. Here's a second term. Here's a third term. Numerical expression is still separated by addition and subtraction, but it's all numbers. So it'd be something like 2 cubed minus 4 divided by 2 plus 6. So those are, that's one term. This is a second term, and this is a third term. The terms are separated by addition and subtraction. It can be evaluated. So let's see, factors, when you multiply two things together, the things that you multiplied together, the 2 and the 3 right here, those are factors. And then the answer right here is the product. Okay, we talked about x. This reads x to the 5th power. That's how it's read, x to the 5th power. But what does x to the 5th power actually mean? A power is just repeated multiplication. X to the 5th power means x times x times x times x 5 times. That's what x to the 5th power means. And here they're reminding you that if you don't see an exponent on a variable, it's an understood 1. I call it Ninja 1. Quotient is the answer to a division problem. So the most common way to write division is with the fraction bar, where we have a numerator on top and a denominator on bottom. So an example of that would be x divided by 2. That's if I read the words x divided by 2, that's how I'm probably going to write it. So some words for addition is going to be sum. You can simply more. It could be increase. It could just be the word add. There are probably other words that go there. Those are the ones that on the top of my head. Multiplication. You need to look for the word product. You can also look for factors, the word factors, because we know that when you multiply two numbers together, those are called factors. The word per. So on word problems, when they say we're going to charge $5 per hour, that means you're going to multiply 5 times the number of hours. And also the word of. When we take a percent of, or we do like 3/4 of a number, the word of means multiply. Subtraction would be difference. We could have less. We could have the word subtract. Decrease. Division, quotient. Q-U-O-T, quotient, and just divided by. Maybe the word over. If I said this right here, I would say x over 2. So those all mean division. And here they are telling us that equal signs, right here, we usually use the word, if we see the word is, was, were, have, has, those words all, or where the equal sign is going to go. And here they're talking about the word twice, be sure, or 3 times. Oh, that was another thing that we could put over here for multiplication, the word times. Okay. So twice the number of dogs would be 2 times the number of dogs. Down here, they want us to write this out. I would say a number. You could put y, but usually when we see a variable, we were going to refer to it as a missing number. So a number, we're going to write a number raised to the power of 5, or raised to the 5th power. Remember, we want words right here. Raised to the 5th power. And what are we going to do? We're going to subtract. So we could say subtract 16, or is 16 less? Less 16. Less means we're going to subtract less 16 times the number. Be sure you say the number, because if you say a number, it's going to sound like we're talking about a different one. Here we said a number. Here we're going to take away 16 times that same number. Okay, 5 less than a number C. This says 5 less than. So since it says less than, instead of just less, like it does right here, it says less than, we're going to be taking 5 away from a number C. So it's C minus 5. This one says 9 plus. We know we're going to be adding. And then it says we're going to add to the 9 the product. So we're going to have to multiply 2 and D. So those are all of those examples. I will do page 2 on another video.